Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Everyday Excellence. I'm your host, Todd Baldwin, and today we have Carlos Medina Jr., owner of Medina Lawn Care. Carlos, how are you doing?
Great, thank you. Very happy to be here.
Great. Carlos is up in Chicago. He was just telling me it was a balmy 8 degrees, 9 degrees, Carlos, right now.
Uh, 12 right now, 8 this morning, 12
Eight.
right now.
Oh, 12 degrees. All right. You're on a,
Yes.
it's heating up.
Oh, it's like a heat wave.
Well, Carlos, tell me a little bit about Medina Lawn Care, as I'm sure you can do a much better job of introducing your company than I ever could.
Well, my dad started in 1967. He was the first Hispanic landscaper in Chicago, and he worked it for many years. His brothers joined him, and in 1995, we call it the Great Breakup of '95 because the four brothers went their own separate ways, and so I took it over in '98, and I have been the owner of it since 1998.
Okay, so 98, quick math, you owned it for what,
27 years.
27 years?
Right.
And the business is 40 plus?
1967,
Yeah, so no, we're
almost
talking
60 year, almost
60
60
years. Yeah,
years.
wow. That is crazy. Well, that's
Yeah.
awesome. First off, congratulations on being able to just take something over for your family that or your dad and your family have, and then still be able to operate at a high level.
You know what? I wanted to do something completely different. It was what they call a mow and blow, so just kind of in and out real quick. I decided to. Of course, it took me many years. It didn't happen overnight. Um, I wanted to become more commercial than residential. So I took on big accounts, big commercial parking lots, chain stores. I wanted to go a completely different way. I did not want to be um, like every other landscaper. I opened up an office. I hired help in the office. I hired a marketing. I got a great website, a great phone number. I just went in it head first. I figured if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it all the way.
I gotcha. And so, is it primarily commercial today, or have you added a
It's about 90% commercial, 10% residential.
really? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So,
yeah.
of all the things listed on your site, we've got lawn care, landscaping, synthetic turf, fences, brick paving, snow removal. Is there one service line that's majority, does a lion's share of the revenue, or is it kind of split?
Well, in the winter, it's all snow.
Sure.
And in the summer, the maintenance is great, but the installs is where it's a higher profit margin,
Okay.
you know.
How much turf are you doing?
Synthetic lawn
Yeah, the synthetic
or
artificial
regular grass.
synthetic turf.
I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it's probably our most profitable um, install because it it, uh, it yields higher than any other install that we do, and also it's not it's not going to dry up on you, it's not going to rot on you, it's not going to um, it's not a an item that if you leave it in your garage that it's going to go bad. So we can actually order quite a bit and then just keep it there until we need it.
Okay. Yeah, we do some big we've got a couple of big artificial turf, synthetic turf companies that we do their marketing for. And it seems to be industry that's really growing and a lot of people are making that switch, right? To the
I
synthetic.
put synthetic lawn in my house, in my personal house, about 16 years ago.
Okay.
And people will laugh and say, "Oh, a landscaper with synthetic lawn." I said, "Listen, I don't ever want to envy my neighbor because the grass is greener on my side of the fence." And
Right.
then they laugh about it. They're like, "I can't believe you have synthetic lawn." I go, "Why would I want to water it, fertilize it, aerate it, dethatch it, grub control?" I said, "I don't do any of that. It just it's done, one and done.
One of them that looks great.
Absolutely, all year."
Real quick, one thing I thought interesting when we talked earlier, you were mentioning the snowplow business and you called it, you told your
White
buddies
gold.
white gold. Yeah. White gold.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about
Absolutely.
that white gold.
The gift from God.
Tell us a little bit about that. Is it because I mean Chicago obviously you'll get a ton of weather and you've just built up a lot of accounts that you have or
I've built up a lot of commercial accounts. I do the largest account in the city, which is the Lincoln Park Zoo. It's
okay.
45 acres.
Wow.
The largest single account. I have all their larger accounts, commercials, property, malls, factories, stuff like that. Um, but that is the largest. And when I say white gold, it's because there's nothing else going on in the winter except snow. So when it comes down, it's like gold to us because that's our go-to work. And yes, there's long hours. Yes, it's hard work, but the amount of money you can make on that is much higher with less people than what you can do in the summer. It's a quick influx of money to continue your payroll and to continue everything else.
Yeah, you've got good crews, good people. You want to keep them, and you need to keep them busy in the off season. So yeah, the white gold, man. You're one of the few people smiling when it starts snowing and all
Oh,
that in Chicago, right?
well, I'm thankful. Yeah, we have about 8 skid steers, and a front end loader, and 6 trucks, pickup trucks, a couple of dump trucks, a 5-ton truck. So I mean, we get a little bit done.
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah. Well, being in business 27 years, right? You've had the landscaping lawn care business, which is such a long time in the service industry. But what's kept you in it when things got hard early on?
Well, I've lived through some tough times. The Obama times we were working like 4 days a week sometimes. During COVID, it was a little rough also. But interesting enough, it started slow during COVID and then it shot up. And then we were busier, like 15 to 20% more. Because at first people were very scared and didn't know what to do. But then something happened. And from what I understand, asking people, they were sitting in their houses looking at their yard thinking, man, I got to do something. So
Who's that?
that seems to be the biggest conversation I had with people of what drove you to do this install today, and not little installs, like big installs that normally weren't happening all the time. They're like, well, I was sitting in my house looking out the window in COVID, thinking, man, I need to do something with my backyard, and lo and behold, here I am. So
Yeah,
it was actually great for us, COVID. We did a 15 to 20% more revenue than other times. So while other people, I'm sorry to say, were suffering and maybe it didn't work out for them like that, I am happy and thankful that we were able to do well.
yeah. You hit the nail on the head there, man. We worked
And
a lot.
one more thing, I don't know if this happened by you guys, we were deemed as an essential service by the Illinois Landscape Contractors Association,
Mhm.
and we had to have a piece of paper on our dash as essential workers, which
Yeah.
was great.
Yeah, very familiar with all that. We do a ton of work with home service companies, and they were all deemed that essential worker, and they all had big years. Not only those, I guess, was COVID started in 20, so 2021. Yeah, I know so many our clients had record years in those two, I guess at first 24-month COVID span. And you're right, they all said the same thing. That everybody's sitting around at their house saying, "Well, let's might as well do a project." Got nothing else to do. And tired of looking at it. So yeah, isn't it crazy how sometimes best years come out of unusual circumstances?
Sometimes it all depends. And if you're looking at the glass half full or half empty, I was looking at it as half full because it
Yeah,
was great. And a lot of people I know their business suffered, and I feel bad for them. But thank God that I was in the business that I was in, and mine did better. So I'm grateful for that.
yeah, I am too. We did well through the COVID years because our clients were still busy and rocking and rolling. So, and most of my team's already remote, so we weren't affected by that at all. So, being having to leave an office, I mean, we didn't. Once you kind of get over that fear of what was going on, it was just business as usual. And then we were busy, and it was because of companies
There
like
was the
y'all's.
initial hump.
Yeah,
There was where we didn't know what was going on. Uh, Interestingly enough, I switched all my trucks to 4-door trucks that year because they didn't want 3 people riding in the front. Remember?
yeah,
Well, here anyway. So I ended up, which was a great thing. I mean, I knew I had to do it anyway, but it just kind of like the push to go to 4-door trucks, 2 in the back, 2 in the front, because everybody had to be by a window supposedly to have the fresh
yeah.
air. So
Crazy.
it pushed me to get four-door dump trucks, four-door pickup trucks, four-door everything. So it was a blessing in disguise,
Sure.
you know.
Hey, your crew's riding around a little bit more comfort now because of it.
Absolutely, absolutely. You don't want to do things sometimes, and then necessity says, "Well, you're going to do it now," and it was great, and it worked out great, and I'm
It's
thankful for it because
right.
now everything I buy is four-door.
There you go. You
Yeah,
can't go
yeah.
back, right?
No, nobody wants to sit three in the front.
No, no.
Nobody.
No, no. What do you think
You
about
know,
Medina Lawn Care today? What are you most proud of, Carlos?
I'm proud of the legacy, and I'm proud of the amount of years that we've been able to survive, and I'm proud that my dad, as the first Hispanic landscaper, took the chance by accident, um, and I write about that in my book. He was working for an Italian company because it was all Italians when my dad started in the '60s, and him and another guy said, "Hey, we can do this. Let's start it." And my dad quit, and the other guy didn't. He hired his brother, so kind of pushed my dad out. He pulled a fast one on him. So my dad went door to door, and I look back now at what it was and what he did with the limited language barrier and the limited machinery and everything, and where we are today. And I'm thankful. I've been able to accomplish a lot of things. Um, I've been able to give back a lot. Three of my employees, I've started them in their own company, and I'm
That's so
happy
cool.
about that. Yeah,
Yeah,
because employees that have been with me between 18 and 20 years, I said, listen, I know I'm not going to be here forever, because sooner or later the right offer comes in, and I tell people everything is for sale. I want you to know that everything is for sale. Somebody comes in with the check tomorrow, I'm signing the paper because I'm
sure.
not doing this forever.
Yeah,
So I helped out three of my guys start their own business, and I'm thankful that I was able to pay it forward. And I've been able to accomplish a lot of things, put kids through school, and just things that I never thought I'd be able to do.
that is such a great story. So I love talking to entrepreneurs and hey, owning your own business is tough, but there's so much reward, right? And just
Work
something
work
about
hard.
building. Yeah.
They say work hard to be the boss so you can work harder. Some people don't understand that, you
Oh, they
know.
don't. And a lot of times the joke is people will say, hey,
Well, and like I told you last day, you as a business owner, people are like, "Oh, how's business? How's?" I go, "Business would be great if it wasn't for employees and customers.
there you
It'd be
go.
awesome."
There
But
you
they look
go.
at me with like deer in the headlight, like, "What is he talking about?" I go, "You'd have to be a business owner to understand that joke."
Yep. I understand. I get it because it's 100% true. When you look at your industry landscape and all the services that you guys provide, it can be stressful work, right? So whether it's keeping good crews, tight schedules, upset homeowners, how do you create a culture that keeps your team showing up at a high level?
I treat everybody as family, and I have meetings every Friday. And when I was younger, I used to work at UPS, and one of the things that I got out of it was always have your equipment looking nice. So I have a company that comes in once a week and washes all the vehicles. Have
Love that.
pride. Have pride in your company and act as if you're the owner, act as if you are the head of this company, because when you're out there, you're representing not just me, but the company and yourself. And I would tell all my guys every Friday, we are here all to eat. Nobody's here to get rich. At the end of the day, is to eat, take care of your family, and pay your bills. Nobody is winning the lot. I'm here every day, so obviously I'm not rich. I drive a 20-year-old car, so obviously I'm not rich. I said, so we are all here for one reason, to make a living. So therefore, act like you're the owner of the company, because when somebody walks up to you, the response you're going to give them is should be the response that I would give them. Maybe not as entailed, but an educated response as much as you can give them. So please, you're representing me. My name is on your shirt. My name is on the truck. My name is on everything on your check. So, and then I have a big banner in my warehouse. I made a big banner that said solutions, but in Spanish. Soluciones no excusas, meaning solutions, no excuses. And I point at it all the time. I don't care if there's a problem. Okay, let's find a solution.
Yeah, I had another business owner recently. I was on a podcast, and she has something similar. Um, don't bring me a problem, bring me a solution. you know?
It's kind of the same thing.
Exactly.
I saw it in a meme somewhere, and
Yeah.
I made a banner about 10 feet long by 3 feet wide, and I hung it on the top, and I pointed it all the time when like, hey, Jefe, this happened. Point at the banner. I go, how are we going to fix it? I don't care what happened now. It doesn't matter what happened. What happened happened and was done is done. There's nothing I can do about that. Let's figure out how we can take care of it. Like when customers, I've had many customers say, well, why should I pick you over this other company and this and that? And I tell people, listen, I'm not the biggest. I'm not claiming I'm the best. But what I am going to tell you is that I will follow up with you, and my customer service will be the best that I could possibly give you. If there's a problem, we will fix it. If there's a concern, we will address it. And if there's a question, I will answer it. So that's what I could tell you is different than me. And I am the owner. I am the boss. I am Medina. You are going to deal with other companies where you have to go through 6 supervisors, 2 managers, 2 general form. You're going to go through 10 people and you're never going to speak to the owner. That I can guarantee.
Yeah.
You deal with
It's
me, the buck stops here. If I don't have the answer, then I don't know what else to do, but I'll figure it out.
sure. Yeah. No, it's that's why I mentioned this earlier. That's why I like talking to entrepreneurs because there's so much in common there that we have. And I tell people all the time, hey, we're a boutique agency and that's really by design. We're not trying to be the biggest agency because one of three of our core values is best customer service on the planet. And we really aim high to take care of the client. So,
That's what
uh,
separates you from everybody else.
yeah, and it's so interesting that taking care of the client, so much of that, 85% is 90% in our world is just getting back to the client if they reach out in between our status calls and just taking care of their needs. We have a 24-hour policy, hey, of returning an email from a client. And yeah, I mean, just sometimes it's a big problem. A lot of times it's something easy, small, just take care of it. And so that communication
Right.
to me is 85% of your customer service, just taking care of your client when they reach out. Cause I mean, we
That's
have
why
members. Yeah.
I hired a phone answering system,
Yeah.
a company. So they answer my calls 24 hours a day. So any calls that I get, I gave them parameters. I don't want to hear about advertising. I don't want to hear about sales. I only want to hear about customers. So those emails with the message, they'll email me every day. So and so called. He's got a question about his bill. So and so, those kind of questions. I don't want to go through 800 messages and half of them are solicitation.
Sure. Yeah.
So, so when people call my office, they feel that their needs are being met by somebody, a real person, answering their call and somebody getting back to them.
It's another thing, just answering your phone. We have a competitor out there, and we've had several clients say, I tried to visit with them, but they want to do everything automated. Like, I want to talk to a human still.
Right, right, right.
All this AI thing, it's all great, but hey, you can't replace the human interaction, right?
No, you cannot, or the response.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
let me ask you this: after 30 plus years, well, 27 owning the business, your dad 60 plus, but just looking at you, right? Some owners at that time frame, they'll start to coast, right? Or some push forward. Where do you see yourself in that spectrum right now?
selling.
Selling, ready to exit door, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah. I have a couple of offers right now, if truth be told,
Yeah.
and I imagine that by sometime this year I will sell. But I have a couple years left at the firehouse. I've been working 3 jobs for like the last 35 years.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. I was going to bring it up toward the end, but it's a good segue. I mean, this is not your only gig. And
No,
so
this
tell
is
us
my
a little bit
sides.
about your other 2 jobs. And then also just list out all the other companies that you had and sold because you've had lots of businesses in your time.
Um, in 1990, I bought my first Subway restaurant. In 91, I bought my second one. In 93, I bought my first car wash. In 94, I bought my second. I kept those for a few years. In 98, I took over the landscaping company. But in between there, I had a flower shop called Flower and Icing. We did cakes and flowers for weddings, my wife and I. And also in between all of that, I owned multiple buildings. So I was a landlord for many apartments. So I've gone the full spectrum of trying to be an entrepreneur, a business owner, to achieve what what I didn't grow up with. I grew up in Mexico in a small town with dirt floors and no running water and no electricity. So when I came here and I was a teenager, I decided I never wanted to live like that again. So I jumped in headfirst into business. I bought my first house at 21, my first business at 24, and I just kept going from there. I decided this is a great country and opportunities there for all who want it. Um,
Love hearing that,
and
Carlos.
and I, I wasn't. I've never been one to use the excuses because I'm Hispanic or I'm a minority or I'm a this or I'm a that. I never, I never subscribed to that. I'm a man with ideas and wants, and that's what I was going to go after. And I never let anybody tell me, well, your dream is too big. Stay in your lane. Stay within, your culture. None of that. As Tony Montana said, the world is yours. It's your oyster if you want it, and if you're willing to go after it. Because a lot of people won't go, the whole mile. They'll stop. But I wanted to break barriers. I wanted my kids to see an example that I put forward. Full first civil servant in my family, first business owner, first homeowner, first author of a book, first multiple business owner. I wanted to break barriers because you come from a small town mentality that sticks with you. Well, with a lot of people, and you think, well, we're going to keep doing what we've always done, but then you're going to keep getting what you've always gotten. That's the problem, So I wanted
Yeah.
to pave the road for the people behind me.
No, that's so awesome. I love all of that, and I love the part about hey, this country we live in, and it can be crazy times, but hey, at the end of the day, it's still the best country on the
I
earth,
would not want to live anywhere else.
and you
Absolutely
do
not.
have the opportunity to do anything that you want to do. I mean, it's so. Let me ask you this: tell us about how long have you been a fireman?
27 years.
So 27 years. That's right in line when you bought the landscape business. So um, and you were already a business owner at that time or had several businesses. What made you want to get into that field of work, being a servant, civil servant, fireman, while you're
And,
already got your
well,
hands full with businesses?
and that's not the worst one. I am a medic on the movie set, so I've been doing that for 39 years.
39
So
years.
yeah, so I started that at 21 years old. I celebrated my 21st birthday on the movie set of The Untouchables. So I was doing that for a long time. I've always felt that, I'll rest when I'm older.
Sure.
So I wanted more. I always wanted more. I never felt that I had enough. I know that sometimes that sounds a little crazy, but I always wanted more. I wanted to be able to provide for my family. So when the opportunity for my dad, for me to take over the business, my dad had just separated from his brothers. I told you the breakup of 95. Um, he was not in a good place. And he was, not in a good place. So my wife said, "Hey, you should honor thy father and mother and take over the business and continue the legacy. Otherwise, it's going to die." So I guess my better judgment at the time, I listened to my wife, and it turned out to be a great idea. So, maybe at first it didn't seem like a great idea. I'm like I need another job. I have all of this going on already. I had multiple businesses. I had apartments. I had two other jobs. I'm like, really? She's like, yes, you should honor your father and mother, and it's biblical, and you should do it.
That's cool. Yeah.
So, and here I am.
Here you
Years
are.
later,
Well,
here
you're
I am.
still rocking. So just for our listeners to make sure to understand, when Carlos says he's a medic on a movie set, if someone gets hurt, he's the first one there to render aid. So real quick, just tell some of the producers and movies. It's a who's list of all these movies that you've worked on. So as the medic on set, you're there in case something happens. You can render aid, but some of these movies, what just real quick for our listeners, tell a little bit about all that. What all you've done?
Um, on my IMDB page, which is a movie page, I have about 69 credits to my name. But I didn't always start as a medic. I've only been a medic for 25 years. since I got on the fire department. Before that, I was a greensman, is what they call it, which is a Hollywood landscaper. And I worked for John Hughes on all the Home Alone movies, Baby's Day Out, Miracle on 34th, Dennis the Menace, all those movies that he shot here in Chicago for many years until, he passed away, unfortunately, because he was a powerhouse in Chicago. And I was his guy. And I worked for Michael Bay on both Transformers. I was a greensman for him as well. So I've been able to meet a lot of people, travel all over the country, see things that never in my life I thought would be possible, meet movie stars. In my book that I wrote, I mentioned some interactions what I had with quite a few of them. I have pictures with them, and I've been blessed to be able to do as many things as I have. Never in my life did I think I'd be where I'm at today. But again, work hard to be the boss so you can work harder. And don't be afraid of work.
Don't be afraid of work. Afraid of work.
No,
Don't start a business.
no.
I'm curious. I want to talk a little bit about marketing with you. Obviously, I'm a digital marketer, and I love talking to business owners about what all is working, what's not working, and then what are some pain points that you've gone through or may have still today with marketing. So you had told me, are you doing all your marketing in house? I mean, are you doing the majority of that work right now for the?
Um,
I'm specifically talking for the land care, the lawn care
I
landscape business.
I have two pages. I have my own personal one that I market my book,
Hmm.
which I do videos every day, and also I have the landscaping one.
Webs.
Between Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, I think I got about 90,000 followers.
Okay.
And I make videos all the time. I pay my employees to make videos for me while they're working. I pay them $10 a day. I say,
Okay.
if you give me 3 videos during the day that are cool, I'll give you 10 a day. So I add $10 to their check every day, and they love it because they'll send me 15 videos. I'm like, I don't need that many. So so then I edit them, and I splice them, and I make a video out of it. Um, so and also my web guy, I pay him for Google Words and Google Ads and all that stuff, and that gets me tons and tons of traffic. I don't advertise anywhere else between my website and my social media pages, and my vehicles all being cleaned and wrapped because I wrapped them all. I mean, like over the top wrap with like our letters and our name and everything else. They're like driving billboards, all of them. Sometimes a little too much, according to my wife, but you know what? I've some of my biggest jobs I've gotten because people have been parked next to me on the highway and they look at my name and they look at the truck and they call me. And then after that, it's up to me to sell it. But
Sure. Yeah. So
if
you get
they're calling you, they have a need.
sure. So your social media and your followers, I love how you're paying your guys to do videos, and we always preach that too. Take pictures when you're out on the job and all that jazz. But I'm sure you've got leads there, and then you said you've got a guy that handles like your Google ads.
He's been
That
my guy for like
what's
the last 20 some years. He was actually a contractor that hired me to do a job and he was starting his company. And I've been his customer for so many years, and he is like he's redesigned my website like 3 or 4 times in the last 20 some years. And the traffic I get from that website is just amazing. I probably get between 13 and 15,000 hits a month on it.
is
So
awesome. You've worked with him for you said for years now.
probably over 20 years.
Yeah, that is cool. I don't have a 20-year long client, but we've got a lot of clients 10 plus. But that resonates with me because I don't hear that a lot with business owners. Um, that's our goal is to develop partnerships with our clients and become their go-to for uh, their website and everything related to Google and now AI, Chat GPT, and then of course the social channels too. We always help with as well. But most people, Carlos, a lot of business owners, when I ask them about digital agencies or pain points or someone they've worked with, they tell me I don't want it. Well, I'll be truthful with you, but don't take it personal because there's a lot of bad our agency, our industry has a bad reputation because there's a lot of bad apples in our space. So for you to be with someone for 20 years,
Well,
you're
I
that
I
apple.
I I believe myself
Yeah,
in loyalty.
yeah,
I'm a loyal guy, and I'll be with him till he does something bad or he does something that we don't agree upon, but I'll
yep.
be with him forever.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, hey,
And
if it's working and
yeah,
you have
don't
trust there and you got
yes.
leads and good service and that's our whole goal. That's because we want to develop long-term relationships and be that guy. We want our clients to talk about us like you talk about the gentleman that handles your work. So that is awesome. And I don't hear that a lot at all. And it's very, very rare. When I have these calls and I dive into marketing, I typically hear like a lot of frustration and a
Oh,
lot of
I hear it too from other people, and
value. Yeah,
I I I say, well, I've never had a problem with them, and if I've ever had a concern or a question, he's been able to take care of it for me. So it's never been a problem. It's never gotten to the problem point. So, and I don't think I've ever had a discussion or anything like that with him, a heated one anyway. Um, so it's been great, and I can't complain. And like I said, I stick with people until they give me a reason not to. But I hate changing, and
well,
loyalty to me is important, whether
sure.
it's with friends, business, mechanics, whatever, service providers. Uh, Maybe I'm lazy that way, and I just don't want to go look for anybody else. If it's working out, and if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Yeah, don't fix it, especially in the digital marketing world. Don't try to fix something that's not broken. And another, you hit the hit now on the head with another thing. It's painful for business owners to have to change agencies or change who's handling their marketing, and it's no fun. So, um, let me ask you this: we'll switch the gears off marketing, and because you're in a good place there, and and that's awesome. I'm curious if a young person came to you and said, "Hey, Carlos, I want to start my own landscaping business." What advice would you give them today?
Well, if he was one of my employees, as I told you, I've helped them out with accounts. I've given them accounts. Say, hey, listen, here's 15 accounts. Start off with those. If you can take care of those, and people call me and they're offering me residential, I'll pass them to you because I don't want to do residential. So I'll help them out. I've helped them out with machinery. I've lent them my truck and trailer. I truly believe in paying it forward. Absolutely. As I think we should, anybody who's done well in this country should think about the guy behind them and help them out. Um, you know, the only thing they can say about you when you're gone is, man, that guy was great. He helped me out a lot. Or they could say the other thing, that guy pulled a ladder up behind him and didn't want to help anybody. I don't want to be that guy.
I'm a big, your word. You have your word. You have your legacy, right? And
Absolutely.
those are crucial. I might tell my kids all the time, hey, be truthful, do good work, be respectful, and but that whole truthful thing is because you give someone your word, you got to honor it because
Right.
otherwise you're gonna have a
Right.
miserable life and of nobody trusting you. So,
So I would tell somebody, um, if you got any vices, stop them immediately. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I try to get a good night's sleep every day. I am up at the crack of dawn every day. I am 100%, 1,000% committed to what I do and anything that I do. And I tell people all the time, if you're on time, you're late. If you're early, you're on time. Be the first one
and
there.
late is unacceptable. It's
There's no
that's
excuse.
I've got one of my dear friends. Our sons grew up together, but he's a general. Just got promoted recently, but he had coached our kids when they were younger in tackle football. But yeah, he told the boys, "Hey, early is on time is late, and late's
Absolutely.
unacceptable." And I've used that the
Absolutely.
last 10 years. So I use
It's
that with my team because I just hate being late. In our world, we got to show up. We got to be early and give a good first impression. So
well,
great.
absolutely, and lead by example. And I tell these guys, these young guys, if you want to be successful, you have to do things for 10 years that most people won't, so you could do for the rest of your life what most people can't. I said,
Oh, I
so
like that one too.
you're going to have to sacrifice quite a few years to get to where you want to be. So therefore, when you're there, you'll be able to do things that other people will not be able to do. So if you're going to start a business, be ready for sacrifice. Be ready for long days, long nights, headaches, and maybe even some poverty in there somewhere.
Sure. Oh
Um,
yeah.
I know firsthand.
You can start a
It's just
business. You're going to have some lean years.
every business I started. especially when I was 25 years old. We didn't have employees. Me and my partner, we were working 16-hour days at the restaurant because we couldn't afford employees. And I look back at those times, and they created, I think, the person I am today. Not afraid of work. Most people would have gave up immediately, but if you're going to start a business, you got to give it your all. You're 100%. And you can't have any vices. You can't be out there partying or hanging out with your boys or drinking. But what will happen, and one thing I also will tell them, be ready to lose friends. You're going to lose friends faster than you know what to do. You are going to lose relatives. You're going to lose friends, acquaintances. People are going to talk behind you. They're going to say, well, you think you're better. They're going to criticize you. Oh, look at him. He's got a this. He's got a that. Oh, he thinks he's better than us. I go, so be ready for criticism. Be ready for no friends. Be ready for people turning their back on you. And if you are of no good to them at that point for what they need, they're going to forget that you even existed. So it's happened
Yeah.
to me for many, many years. I did a video on TikTok and YouTube a couple of weeks ago about how if you want to lose friends, start a business. 'Cause it's the truth.
Yeah, no, I agree. So, Carlos, you've mentioned as we wrap up here, you've mentioned your book several times. So, you recently wrote a book called Across the Lawn. So,
It's
tell us what
available on Amazon.
it's on. Yeah, tell us where we can find it, and tell us what a
You can
little bit
find it
about.
on Amazon.
Yeah,
It's a memoir of a young boy growing up in Mexico. Like I said, in humble beginnings, dirt floors, no electricity, no plumbing, no running water, none of that stuff. Um, Come here when I was 11, almost 12, and figuring out quickly that that was not the life I ever wanted to live in again, and that was not a life I wanted my kids to grow up in. Seeing the opportunities that are here and the abundance of things that you can do in this country, that opportunity hit me quick, and I jumped in head first. And I wanted to be like in the army, all that I could be, and I wanted to break barriers. I was the first to buy a property. I bought 21 years old. I bought my business at 25. I bought real estate. I had multiple businesses. First civil servant, first to write a book, first to work in the movies in my family. So I wanted to do things that most people don't even know exist.
sure.
But you know, eh, just maybe to prove something to myself, maybe to prove something to my parents. I don't know, but I just did it to show people that it's all possible. You can do whatever you set your mind to.
Yeah, such a great story, Carlos. I could, man, we could talk all day. We've gone a little long than normal, but hey, I never. The only reason why I go long on podcasts is because it means we're having a great conversation, and I don't want to just end it. So, but such a great, inspiring story. Congratulations, man, on all your success,
Thank you,
and
sir. Thank you
just
for having me here. Thank you
yeah,
for reaching out. I truly
yeah,
appreciate that.
you bet. In um, not only your success, but the ways you've given back. Right. I think at the end of the day, it feels so good when you give back to people and help them out uh, with with nothing, asking for nothing in return, just because hey, I want to give back. So kudos
Well,
to you for that as
two more
well.
two more things.
Yeah.
Speaking of giving back, I donated two fire engines, an ambulance, and a whole bunch of firefighting equipment to my hometown in Mexico. And I drove
Really?
them
Wow.
all. Yeah, I financed it all. I drove it all the way to El Paso because I could only take it across the border. And uh, I saw that they had a need. And when I came back, I did everything I could. I bought these vehicles, I refurbished them, I drove them there all out of pocket. And the governor and the mayor flew me down there one year with my wife. They had a big ceremony, but not just for me, but for a lot of people. They gave me the keys to the city. They gave me a federal badge. They made me an honorary commissioner of the fire department in Durango. And I felt great knowing that somebody else was going to be able to use this equipment that wasn't being used here in America anymore because it was deemed, older, but for them it was still functional. So
Sure.
I've always been one to give back,
Yeah.
and if you've been blessed, bless somebody else.
Well, hey, I can't think of a better spot to end, and that is a really, really cool story that you drove that equipment, paid for it, did all that on your own, and So wow, I didn't know, but we didn't talk about that last time. But I got a feeling if I kept talking, there'd be more
Uh,
coming out, Carlos. But
we'd be
uh,
talking for days. Trust me.
well, hey, it's Saturday in our world today as we talk. So enjoy the rest of your weekend. And again, just thank you so much for being on, Carlos.
Thank you so much for having me. Talk to you soon.
You too.